If I could restart my AI automation agency in 2025, here is exactly what I'd do differently to avoid the mistakes that slowed me down. Now, running an AI automation agency and starting one up now is super exciting because the market is growing exponentially and so many businesses are looking to implement AI automations into their operations. But certain missteps can cost you time, money, and momentum. So let me walk you through the top mistakes that I made personally in my agency that I want you to avoid and what you can do instead to succeed. All right, so for today, I put together a really clear, really concise presentation for you all, walking through the top 8 mistakes that I made in my AI automation agency. And here they are. This is sort of like our agenda for today. These are the 8 mistakes that I made. Take a picture of this, make a mental note, really try to avoid doing these 8 things. And to start us off, the first one is having the wrong tech stack. So when you have the wrong tech stack, there's a lot of things that can go wrong. And I really wish that early on I had recognized this because if I could redo it, I would make sure that I tested a lot more software up front, using my free trials, trying out things, seeing what I like. For every single tool that you could be using, there's always an alternative or a few other competitors on the market. So be sure to experiment with them and see which ones that you like. Additionally, don't be afraid to invest in tools that are high quality. I found early on that I was really trying to skip on software costs, but at the end of the day, the software tools are extremely useful for you, and you're only as good as the tools that you have, in my opinion. Investing in high quality tools will just make your life so much easier. So make sure that you're okay with putting down a little bit of money so that you can invest in tools that help. Also, I highly recommend that you follow what other agencies are doing. So, see the things that other people use, see what they use that's helpful. A lot of times, it's a really great place to start if you're unsure, which is why I put together an AI automation agency starter kit video that you can get. It's going to be in that link up there in the top corner. Press on that, watch it, and see the tech stack that I use now. I highly recommend that you at least start with that one because your tech stack should make your work easier, not harder. Next up, do not underestimate the learning curve. Be patient with yourself. I thought that I could figure out everything on my own, and I was completely wrong. I'd focus on learning by doing, seeking mentorship, and using proven templates instead of starting from scratch. So make sure that you're being patient and trusting the process. This is not supposed to be easy. It's really not. It's going to be hard. It's going to be a challenge, but anybody can really do it as long as you're willing to put in the work and dedicate the time to learning these technologies. So, when it comes to cold emails and cold calling, just cold outreach in general, this might be a hot take, but I am just not a fan of it. I think that it rarely works anymore. Instead, I would recommend that you focus on things like social media, posting in forums, leveraging your own network of people that you already have who are interested in things like this, and showing your work in those places so that you can provide value in a much more personalized and effective way so that you can build relationships and land clients. When it comes to outreach and landing clients, it's all about building relationships with people, and sending unsolicited messages to random people that you do not know a lot of times is not a good way to build relationships. And honestly, the effort that you put in is a lot of times not worth the interest that you get out of it. So try to get creative with your outreach. Try to get creative with how you land clients. I would not recommend doing cold emails and cold calling. Now, next up is one of the absolute biggest mistakes that you can make when it comes to pricing your services, and it comes to a lot of people with surprise. I can say personally that this was a really hard lesson for me to learn, and it kind of seems a little bit backwards and a little bit too reverse. But one of the biggest mistakes I made early on was pricing my services too low. It seemed really logical at the time to offer lower prices to attract more clients, right? But here's what actually happened. Low prices signaled too low quality to my potential clients. When I pitched AI solutions for $200, $300, $400, $500, businesses assumed I wasn't necessarily confident in my skills or that my work would be subpar because at the end of the day, most business owners who aren't really familiar with technology would expect AI development that is supposed to completely change their business to cost more than a couple $100. Serious clients, like those in e-commerce, real estate, dental, etc., expect to pay for expertise. When pricing feels too good to be true, it oftentimes sends the wrong message. And it's not just about how much money you make, it's about how your pricing positions you in the market. Low rates end up attracting clients who are more focused on cost, not value, and they often come with unrealistic expectations and micromanagement. Surprisingly, the clients that I had that paid me the most and were the biggest tickets for me were actually more open to letting me focus on my expertise. And the clients that were really focused on budgeting and paid me very little were very micromanaging and didn't trust my expertise at all. So I highly recommend that you follow this guideline when it comes to pricing your services. It's really important. All right, another mistake that I recommend you avoid is skipping market research. This was a huge mistake for me. And if I could start over, I would really try to find a niche, research the market size of it. So, like, how much money can I actually make? And then I would also talk to potential clients. The mistake that I made was that I just assumed that certain businesses would need AI services. So I just started calling them and tried giving them a sales pitch. But what I should have done is just ask them. I should have been like, hey, do you think that AI services would help your business? And if so, how do you think they would help you? And if I had just done that, it would have saved me so much time. Knowing your audience and knowing your clientele is so very critical to your success. Next up is overpromising and underdelivering. Now, this is a mistake that a lot of people can even make by accident because they overestimate what they're capable of or they say a little bit too much in their sales pitch. And by overpromising what you can do and underdelivering it, you can end up disappointing clients. Instead, really try to underpromise and overdeliver. Transparency helps build trust, and offering alternatives when you can't meet a request helps keep the clients happy. It's okay to say, hey, I don't think I can do this, or hey, that's honestly not realistic. Why don't we try to do this instead? That helps a client trust you and it helps assert you as the expert. It is a skill to be able to say no or to be able to pivot. And I recommend that you really help assess your abilities and assess your client's needs to be honest about what you can do for them. Now, the seventh mistake that you can make is a mistake that a lot of people make super duper early on, and it's not having a website. Not having a website when you are running a technical services business is like running a grocery store in the middle of nowhere with no sign or door or any way of knowing that the grocery store is there. It's practically invisible. Your website is like your own corner of the internet. It's like a storefront. And it's oftentimes the first impressions clients have of your agency. So making it a priority is non negotiable. The good news is you don't need to be like some sort of tech whiz or coding expert to create one. There are a lot of no code tools like Webflow or Bubble that have pre designed templates and really simple setups that allow you to make really sleek professional sites in literally no time. Now, my website, in my opinion, could absolutely be better, but I was able to build it in like 3 or 4 days. So it didn't really take me that long. And it's simple, it's functional, and it's focused on showcasing what I do in my expertise. So a well designed website isn't just an online address, it's really one of the most powerful trust builders and client magnets. All right. Now, last but not least is poor organization. Disorganization was like my Achilles heel. I was really disorganized when it came to my agency at first. So, to fix this, I would track everything from day one, use tools like Notion, automate tasks whenever possible, and adopt a customer relationship management platform to stay on top of your client relationships, your deadlines, and clear communication. All right, and there you have it. We've gone through the 8 mistakes that you should avoid when starting an AI agency in 2025. And in summary, these are all the action items that you should be taking instead of doing all those mistakes that I showed you early on. If I could have avoided those mistakes when starting my agency, I would have saved myself so much time and stress and wasted energy. So in 2025, the keys to success are having the right tools, doing the right research, staying organized, focusing on delivering value, making sure you have a website, accepting the learning curve, getting more creative with your outreach, and making sure that you don't overpromise and underdeliver. By following these strategies, you will set yourself up for incredible growth. And trust me, it is so very worth it. So I hope today's video was helpful for you. I hope you were able to learn something. Make sure that you like, subscribe, comment below what you think of this content, and make sure that you check out my website at Botterra AI. We develop a lot of templates and resources for people to get into the AI automation industry, and there are a ton of tools to help you get started. So make sure you check it out, and I'm excited to see you in the next video.